All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the job hunt. I'm going to start by saying a lot of this information, and it's more or less just quick bullet points, um, all came from the handout that I got when I went through TAPS. Let's see if I can get a photo of that. There it is. Um, if you need a copy of it, I'll try to uh, scan it all in and I can email it to you. So let me know. Let's get started. Step one, pretty easy. Figure out what you're looking for. Do something that you love. I mean, when I went through, they even said rarely do people go from one career right into another. Usually you'll go through a couple other jobs till you find what really fits for you. Getting back into the civilian workforce is different. Um, Once you find that job that you like or you want to try, tailor your resume to it. If you're applying to be in retail, you don't need to put like a certificate for transportation of hazardous cargo. Now, if you're working in the warehouse department of that retail store, that might work. But if you're working to be like a cashier, that certificate has no value. Um, Research the company you're looking into or you're applying for. Make sure that what they do matches up with what you want to do, and look at the reviews of the company. I mean, if you have 50% of the people who work there hate it, and you think that you're going to go in loving it, see why they hate it. I mean, some of it might just be small, minuscule BS, but some of it might be pretty bad. Like Walmart, if you're an associate, hey, you could get hired on as a cashier, but you're an associate. They could tell you to work wherever the hell they choose, and that can get annoying. Believe me, I did it for 2 months during COVID. Um, Even with my medical conditions, I can't push carts, and they try to get me out there every day to push carts, and I just had enough of it and went and talked with HR. Deuces. So start applying. Once you find and understand what you want to do, you tailor your resume. Use Indeed, Monster, USA Jobs. If you're using USA Jobs, make sure on e-benefits for the VA, you get your statement. I think it's the SF-15 that says you're 10-point rated or 5 3-point rated, whatever. Um, Another good way to apply is cold calling. It's old school, but actually going into a business or calling a business saying, hey, I really like your company. Learn your 30-minute elevator pitch. See if they're hiring. They might not be hiring right now, but because you called and put your name in their ear, expressed your interest, that could be the difference between a callback or not. When sending in your resume, tailor it to stand out. Like I have on this, if you're applying for a retail job, use your past experience as a GTC card holder. If you're an RA for the squadron, resource advisor, say something about it. If you volunteered, like for me, I volunteered at the Kansas Humane Society. Shout out to them. I love them. I'm planning on moving back to Wichita, and I'll be volunteering there again once I'm back. But that can count as experience. I worked in the retail store. So think outside the box when you're doing your resume. So interview process might be a simple one, but dress nice. Dress for success. Don't go in there in shorts and a t-shirt. It might be a nice shorts and a nice t-shirt, but dress professionally. Be polite. Thank the interviewer for their time, for bringing you in, letting you get to the next stop. Prepare to ask questions. It will show that you're serious about applying and that you did your research before stepping into their office. And be ready to answer questions. Um, Simple ones that they'll ask is why you applied, what makes you the best fit, what drew you to apply. If you go in there and you're like, well, I just kind of applied for 50 different jobs, well, it makes you seem not really interested in working for them. But if you go in there and you're like, XYZ, this is why I applied, this is why I think I would work best for this company, you're going to stand out. A simple interview layout that is gone over kind of in this little pamphlet is you have your intro where it's the greetings, kind of get to know each other, employer asks the questions, then you have time to answer or ask some questions back to the interviewer. And then the closing. At the closing, pretty simple. You can ask simple questions like, what's the next step? When do you plan on filling the position? Is it okay if I follow up in a week or so? Those are just samples. During the employee Q&A, it's when the interviewer is just going to ask you those questions that we talked about before. And then the candidate Q&A, that's when you want to ask those questions that really make you stand out. And I mean, there's some that you can ask that are like, hey, how do you like working here? Or don't ask about pay, leave. That's just going to make you seem like that's what you're focused on. If your first question is, well, how much am I going to get paid? Well, if that's all you're worried about, why won't we get someone that actually wants to work here? If you're more focused on vacation days, again, you are perceived as someone who just wants that time off. So write down and do your research before you go into the interview. Then follow up. Send a follow-up thank you letter or email. You can reinforce important info from your resume, restate that you're interested in this job and that you really want it, and that you appreciate the time that they took to bring you in for the interview. Lastly, evaluate how you think your interview went. We can always improve better. I know my 30-minute or 30-second, it'd suck if it was a 30-minute elevator pitch, but my 30-second elevator pitch, I can always improve. And I'm always learning more stuff. LinkedIn Learning, being a veteran, they give you a year free when you get out. Do it. Do it. I mean, there's so many certifications you can get on there that look great on a resume. And they are actually certified certificates. One of them is from the National Board of Accountancy, Project Management Institute. Legit certificates that you get for free. You just got to do the course, pass the exams. And then once you pass the exam, you can now use that on another resume later on. You can always improve. I mean, they do have some Six Sigma courses for those in management on LinkedIn Learning that you can do and take, and it's certified by the Project Management Institute. So you can say, hey, I'm a green belt or black belt. I think they do have one like 20-hour course on that. Do it. Learn. That learning also says a lot about you as a character when you apply, because you can put your certification dates on there, and when you're continually learning, a company's going to look at that and go, okay, hey, this guy's always looking to motivate, learn, better himself. Why wouldn't we want him to fill this spot as a manager for our company? So always improve. And when you sit back and you self-assess, you can see, hey, you know what? When they asked me this question, I froze and I really didn't know what to say. Well, put that in your tool bag, because next time you get asked that question, you're not going to freeze. You're going to know what your answer is, because you've thought about it. You wrote it down. You self-assessed. So, well, thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need a copy, let me know. I'll try to scan it in and email it to you guys. Have a good afternoon.